So you just been in Japan, right? Last week. Actually, my friend was in your concert, went to your concert, and she was very impressed.
Well, you're absolutely right. I literally arrived a few days ago
Yeah.
from Tokyo, and it was the first time after the COVID that I visited Japan. Before COVID, I was a very regular visitor, and of course, Japan is one of my favorite countries, period. However, it was for me very I was very much anticipating this trip since I don't know, I thought maybe the things changed so much and it's no more
Yeah.
the country I knew. But yeah, apparently this is just again one of the greatest places in this world.
Oh, so this like to say the second time. How many times have you been already in Japan performing?
Well, until 2019 and
Yeah.
starting at I believe 2008, and since the Sendai prize, which if I'm not mistaken happened to be 2010. So I've been to Japan regularly, more or less each year.
So you've been already 5 times, 6 times?
So to speak.
Oh, yeah. So now you live in New York, Manhattan?
Oh, I'm not sure that we can call Luxembourg New York, Manhattan. No, it's a tiny place in Europe called Luxembourg. It's
Oh,
tiny
oh,
country.
you Luxembourg now, not New York. I
Yeah,
just made.
Luxembourg. No, not New York. No. I say
Oh,
I never been living in New York.
I never visited Luxembourg. So how long have you been living in Luxembourg?
It's about 6 or 7 years.
Oh, is the reason you chose Luxembourg? Is there any reason you chose?
Well, my wife, Alena Baeva, who you might know, she lives here, and she lived in this country for already probably 8 or 9 years when I joined her. So yeah,
Oh,
that's the main
oh,
reason.
I see, I see. And I watched a lot of your YouTube performing. Sometimes you play with glasses, and sometimes you play without the glasses.
Yeah, probably it depends on the mood.
Oh, I see. So when you don't wear glasses, you have a contact lens.
Probably so. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it makes a quite a different kind of image.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I should take note of this. I never thought about those matters, to be honest.
Oh, really? Oh, really? So, I was very impressed with the two YouTube I saw. One was the YouTube you explained about how you produce the sound, and you're explaining with the pencil.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
probably know what you're talking about. Yes.
yeah.
Actually the whole trick came from my teacher Vera Gornasteva, and this is
Yeah.
what she showed is of course it's just a funny gimmick, which is it does not directly pertain to music, but in some sense it holds some very valuable info how we approach piano, how we touch the keyboard, and those kind of things.
Oh, yes. So she made a lot of influence on your technique, the producing the sound.
Moreover, I would say that she had huge impression on me, huge influence as a human being, and she influenced my character, and of course my character has been a musician too.
How many years did you study with her?
Total 8 years.
Oh, eight. And she's so.
Sorry. It's actually a mistake. It's probably more 9 years because I started to visiting her the year before I entered the conservatory.
Oh, that is in Moscow.
Yes.
Oh, and she was around how old? Like 60s, 70s, or?
I don't remember precisely. I think mid 60s, something like that.
Yeah. But I must say, she really made an influence on you, right? As a musician, also.
No doubt.
No doubt. Yeah. What did you have? What did you learn the most from her?
As I started recently analyzing this, I think, moreover, it was about very honest approach towards music you play,
Mm-hmm.
the way how you just begin to work on any particular piece,
Mm-hmm.
the way you interpret it on stage, and you continue to contemplate variety of interpretation post performance. So yeah, it's just so many things she gave me to basically how one being a musician and how one being a concertizing musician, which is sometimes those paths they coincide sometimes, and sometimes they don't coincide.
I see. And of course, I watched so many you playing a lot of like Emperor Concerto, but that when you were playing the Busoni Concerto, the long one, I really was impressed. The Busoni Concerto.
Yeah, Busoni Concerto is one of the probably very rarely played piano concerti ever, and at the same time, it's fun piece to play. It's great piece. It's I think it carries a lot of fun both for orchestra and for performer because so many musicians inside orchestras they got their solo parts and they I think have very fun, very great time with it. And of course, in some sense, it's literally a symphonic piece, just with a piano sometimes inside the orchestra, which is absolutely fine. Yeah, it's one of those monstrosity concerto, which sometimes it's actually very interesting to play because it opens such a great perspective on the time epoch, time period, and explains something about the development of piano orchestra overall.
But I really like. I think that was my favorite one. You're performing. When you're performing the concert, I thought it's just a piece for you. I really was impressed.
The Busoni. Well, yeah, it's so interesting that you were mentioning this because I think so few people they ever notice this recording. So thank you very much.
And because you all have such a your sound is always very full. That was I like the most. Very full sound with control, but full sound.
Well, might be.
And were you not touring? What do you have any special hobby, or do you have do you do any sports or?
Well, I wish I do any sports whatsoever, which is actually very important for a touring musician because we have to keep our body healthy. Well, I have close to be 3 years old daughter, so I take care of her.
Oh,
make sure.
That's your daughter. She's studying and playing the instrument. Does she play something?
She does not mind to play. Yes, of course, we have not yet started any teaching because she's just too young. But she certainly appreciates music, and she probably has some good pitch.
Oh, no wonder. Yeah. So you'll be teaching her probably. Yeah.
I probably will refrain from teaching my own child, but we will see. It's a long haul.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
So yeah, in any case, and then yeah, by touring, well, what else I do? I study new music. I study, reading books, those kinds of activities. Probably it looks very boring from the outside.
Right now, what kind of a new repertoire are you building?
So I'm really trying to extend the frontiers, and my latest insights were so probably I recorded Ruzhevsky Variations recently, which was released about a year ago, and then there was a request coming from Chopin Institute in Warsaw, and they asked me to record Mozart Requiem arranged by Klindworth. But I think this one is one of the most clever ones, and certainly he succeeded to preserve the structure of the work and succeeded to preserve the those valuable transitions and those valuable subtle details, and he never allowed himself to go like right into the music and changing something very crucial, as maybe some they sometimes tend to do when they do a transcription.
Yeah, well, listening to it, I could see it was very complicated. It must be quite a difficult piece to produce the tonality and the color of the piano. But I thought that was very interesting. Yeah. I
Yeah, so
see.
one of the challenges I was facing, we agreed that I'm recording this on a period instrument on an RR, yeah. So on the piano period of Chopin, and
Mm, mm,
so certainly it gives you a huge perspective. It gives you so many ideas how to perform Chopin's music to start with.
mm,
And I have to admit, I would encourage anyone who is playing Chopin to try to get an access to the period piano of Chopin
yeah.
time and
Uh,
try to play Chopin on those instruments because
mm,
it opens you a whole bunch of new things, whole bunch of
mm,
new
mm,
gadgets, new tools,
mm.
new technique, etc.
So when you at your home in Luxembourg, which piano do you use? Which maker?
Well, I'm playing Fazioli piano. I have Fazioli instrument.
So since when do you use Fagioli?
It actually started with beginning of my Japanese career because
Mm, mm,
I had uh, an invitation to visit a showroom by Fazioli Japan by its head
mm-hmm.
Alec Weil, and he was kind enough to let me try those piano, and yeah, I was very satisfied with the outcome. And from time to time, I'm not saying that I'm playing each time on Fazioli, but sometimes I had a chance to play my recital or play with an orchestra on that piano.
Oh yeah. So, I've never been to Luxembourg, but what is like a typical Luxembourg food? Like a typical plate, typical dinner from Luxembourg.
Well, I would have said you just take any position out of German
Hmm.
cuisine. If you know any decent German plates, then you just mix a bit with some French flavors, and there you get typical Luxembourgish dish.
Oh, do
But
you?
actually, yeah, if you talk about food, it's like the most good ones are from the Alsace region.
Mm,
So
mm,
Alsace has very complicated history and with some mixture of French and
mm,
German flavors, and
mm.
they got very good white wines.
Do you?
But it's in some sense it's the same thing as in Austria. So in Austria are very good white wines makers, but we don't know them because it's just for the local market. So most of
Mm,
Luxembourgish wines they got consumed just here in Luxembourg.
mm. Do you drink a lot of wine, alcohol?
That's a good question. No, I mean I actually don't, but I really appreciate that. It's a good.
But you like wine or vodka? Or what kind of alcohol do you like the most?
I don't like vodka, but wine I like probably.
Oh, wow, I see. Do you cook too?
Well, during COVID, we were all forced at least learn a bit how to cook. So yeah, I also began to cook
Oh,
just
I see.
little bit.
Oh, how about so? What's your favorite food? Like Italian, French? What kind of cuisine do you enjoy the most?
I don't want to flatter anyone, but it's certainly Japanese.
Oh, Japanese. Oh, what kind of Japanese food do you?
Japanese food. But probably the most simplest one, like you go to those little places where you're just sitting on a
Huh.
bare wooden boxes and then you order something very ordinary, but at the same time so quick and so tasty.
Oh.
Yeah, and also I recently had an experience. I went to Taiwan,
Huh.
and besides Taipei, I visited Tainan, and in Tainan
Mm.
was fantastic street food, just
Mm.
street food, and so cheap and so great. It was very good
Oh.
culinary experience.
How about like do you like a literature? Do you have your favorite author?
Literature.
Mm.
Well, literature is a good question. I mean, a lot of them. For example, Gashek, Czech author,
Uh-huh.
and also, speaking about literature written in French, there is an amazing Romanian author of theatrical plays. I already forgot. Sorry, having brain.
Maybe you like to
Brilliant, but I wasn't.
do you watch theater also? You like watching theater also?
I wish I had time to do so. So I very much like theater. I love operas,
Uh-huh.
but sadly have literally no time to go there.
Let's say if you have to choose a favorite opera, which is your favorite opera?
Which is my favorite operas? Probably any one of Puccini.
Puccini. Ah, I see. Actually, your voice is very low, so you could be like a baritone singer.
I have to think about this. Yeah, but when I stop playing piano completely, then I probably turn into singing. But hopefully, it's a long haul from that.
Oh, I can imagine you because you have very good body. So maybe you'll be. I can imagine you singing with a beard, a baritone opera singer.
Well, we'll see how that part goes.
Let's say if you have to choose your favorite concerto to perform, which would you say? To perform, not to listen, to perform yourself in the concert. Which is your favorite concerto?
To perform, probably Brahms number 2.
Oh, number 2, not
Brahms
one.
number 2.
Oh,
Not one. It's funny enough, I never been able to properly perform the first concerto by Brahms, and this is some very dear feeling coming from my childhood because I got at early age this recording of second Brahms concerto recorded by Artur Rubinstein,
Ah,
and that recording became such favorite of mine, so I could not listen any others. Anyway.
who was the conductor?
I don't remember. I believe it's recording with Philadelphia Orchestra, but I might be wrong. I don't really remember. It's some of the U.S. orchestras. I just don't remember which ones. But Rubinstein is absolutely in his like greatest state in this recording.
Oh, yes, I agree with you. Yeah. So the last question I like to ask you, could you give us like a message to young pianists, the readers of this magazine, who are willing to become the pianist? Any advice for these young pianist students?
Any advice I can give to younger generation? Well, certainly, first and foremost, practice as much as you can, and second, keep it simple.
So when you say practice as much as you can, for you, how many hours is that for you? Practice a lot. Maybe depends on each. Yeah.
Well, having a child, of course, there is close to zero practice at home. That every parent knows. But yeah, when I travel somewhere, I have chance to practice. So it's about basically everyday schedule. So at least 2-3 hours. This is just bare minimum one has to support.
To support. And the maximum, could it be 6, 7 maximum when you're practicing?
Well, it's of course it depends on the person, but for me, it's like I would say post 5 hours. It just has no meaning for me because I'm just so tired that no valuable information is coming to my brain.
Yeah, and you said keep it simple. And what do you mean keep it simple?
Keep it simple. I mean, like all of us, we strive directly to go up there in our career, but it like one can lose himself or herself while just trying to jump up there. So what I try to say, in some sense, just do what you have to do and see how it goes. But don't speed up things. This is probably some like explanation in better words what I mean under keep it simple.
Not to hurry much, but of course to keep it simple, but continue, but without any hurry, right?
Without any hurry, yeah. You got it.
So thank you very much for your time, and I hope everything goes well. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.